So, earlier this month, I finished watching Chojin Sentai Jetman, or Ace Pilot Squadron Jetman if you're not Nihongo Jozu, and it's a great show. There's a lot of really good special effects, and action, and some really strong characters for the time, except for one, Akko. Now don't get me wrong, Akko's not a straight up terrible character. She has some great moments early on. I straight up laughed my ass off when her main attack turned out to just be flying into the foot soldiers. And she's a great backup to all the other characters, acting as a little sister to Guy, Kaori, and Ryu, and being kind of a bestie for Raita suits her well. It's just, none of her focus episodes are particularly good, and I have a big fucking problem with that because it's the only real problem with Jetman. Every time the show chooses to focus on her, they drop the ball in some kind of uniquely annoying way. Like her first focus episode barely even features her. It's more about a character of the week who's obsessed with ramen and maybe also her, but he's like a good bit older than her and she's underage, so what the hell's going on there, Toshiki, in a way? And then when she actually gets a little bit of an arc as a subplot during the Jet Garuda introduction arc, it's like one of the most appallingly misogynistic things in the show, which is saying something when you consider that this show also features Guy and Kaori, and that, like, I've talked about Power Rangers Megaforce before. To give you the For Dummies version, the Jetmen are fighting these interdimensional conquerors. That's the big bads of the series. And during the Jet Garuda arc, a bunch of people from the dimension that was previously conquered show up and go like, hey, we built this big robot to help fight the bad guys. Let's team up and be buddies. And all of them end up dying, and it's supposed to be very sad and very tragic, except for the fact that the main one we focus on is the youngest member of that group, who happens to be the same age as Kaori, and he's a piece of shit. And I'm only mentioning this because if I don't, the comments will. He's played by this guy who played Dan in Jew Ranger the next year, and his character's name here also happens to be Dan. What a wacky coincidence. From the first moment this guy sets foot on the Jetman base, he's not even acting like a real character. He's not acting like a warrior, he's not acting like a teenage boy, he's acting like an anime caricature of a teenage boy. The first fucking thing he does is lift up Akko's skirt. And that shit somehow kickstarts a romance arc between them, where he's constantly and very aggressively throwing himself at Akko in very much the same way Guy is constantly doing with Kaori, and both of them make me just as uncomfortable in the moment, but Guy and Kaori resolve rather well. Dan and Akko, though, it's just this guy constantly going, hey, I like you. Hey, you should kiss me. Hey, we should make out. Hey, we should fuck. Hey, this is the mating ritual from my dimension. We tie dandelions on each other's fingers. Will you please do that with me so we can fuck? And then he just fucking dies while trying to get the new robot started during the big final arc, and it's treated as a really tragic thing, and Akko's all sad and she cries, even though, like, 10 minutes earlier, she was literally shoving him off of her and saying that she wanted nothing to do with him. Toshiki Inoue, all-time great romance writer. Am I right, boys? And it's the only real arc Akko ever gets. Her next and last focus episode is her helping a sick kid who doesn't even look that much younger than her learn how to be brave so that she can undergo an operation she needs to have. The next time they do anything with the character outside of playing second fiddle to one of the other Jetmen is in the last episode, where we flash forward and find out she became an idol, because the character just showed so much interest in singing or performing or having tons of people declare their love for her in a very creepy way. Oh wait, I guess they did kind of do that last thing in the Jet Garuda arc. Sorry, my bad. It's just so bizarre to me that a character who seemed like she was going to be the most fun member of the team, being so young and rambunctious, seemingly got left by the wayside, especially when you consider the fact that this show was the debut of Toshiki Inoue, who right now is wrapping up Avataro Sentai Dawn Brothers, which has one of its lead characters be a teenage girl, and she's great. I fucking love Haruka. She's super engaging and honestly kind of relatable even to me as a 20-something guy. That driving episode is goated. And again, I don't think Jetman's bad because of this. Overall, it is a great series and I do recommend it. It's just I never see anyone talk about how poorly Akko is handled throughout the series and how little time she actually gets to shine. And I felt that needed to be added to the conversation. So maybe one day I'll do a video talking about why Jetman is great, but for now, here's the one video about why it's shit, actually. Because Akko, who could have been a great character, doesn't even really get a chance to be a real character. She's just there for generic, kind of stereotypical teenage girl jokes and to help with exposition. And you gotta admit, when it's only one member of the team who I have that problem with, it's not even a really huge issue in the grand scheme of things. It's just something that stuck out and bugged me, so I thought I could get a little video rant out of it here at the end of the month to wrap things up. So yeah, that's the first month of 2022 done. I'm shooting these out of order, so I haven't actually shot the rest yet, but thank you all for watching. Until next time, this is the Vacuuminator reminding you that you never fail until you stop trying. And hey, Toshiki Inoue is proof of that, because he never stopped trying to write good female characters, and he finally did it with Haruka and Dawn Brothers. Congratulations, Inoue. Only took you like 20 fucking years.